There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives.
Two of the many executive orders that President Trump has signed into effect would roll back the clock on transgender rights and scrap government programs on diversity, equity, and inclusion.
The gender stuff is getting out of control, and I definitely agree with Trump about that.
I think it's definitely a shame.
I am cautiously optimistic and hoping that the administration can be sensible and respect the right of the person to exist without interference from government.
I don't think that everyone who voted for him agrees with the rollback of those rights.
From now on, the US government will only recognize two sexes, they say, male and female. Access to intimate spaces, which presumably means public bathrooms, would be dependent on that sex rather than your gender identity. The same applies for prisons. He also is repealing a lot of Biden-era legislation that would, for example, allow transgender people to serve in the military. And as for DEI programs, they will be scrapped across federal government, and that will have a knock-on effect too across corporate America. And we've already been seeing diversity programs scale back in big corporates like Meta, Walmart, and McDonald's. From now on, President Trump says it will only be merit and skill that sees you hired rather than any other DEI principles.
And these are truly just attacks that are aimed to divide us. It's a very selfish tactic. I won't lie. I think, folks in the trans community are very concerned and very fearful for the future. And I want to validate that. Again, as somebody who is trans and living in a red state, I'm happy to have these hard discussions. But again, I think that goes back into remembering that we are not alone. We are encouraging folks in their own communities to reach out to their local pride groups, to start getting involved in their own communities, get involved with their allies.
There may be legal challenges, but this is not a good time for already marginalized communities in what promises to be a very reactionary America.